Today, I'm going to show you something a little bit different than we normally do. So this is my personal car, and we are doing air jacks. So these little things right here, those red things are those are the safety stands. So what these are, onboard air jacks. So these right here are safety stands, so if it loses pressure. So we're gonna leave them in during the content of this video, but as we rotate them around, you can see right there. So these come as a kit from All Star Performance, but I will warn you that they are not just bolt on or whatever. They require some fabrication. So I enlisted the help of Matt and Brandon and Shane up at Performance Fab in Roebuck, South Carolina, and they did it up for me. So there's these little collars. Actually, we'll go up front. It's easier to see them up front. So I figured I'd share this because I don't like Pro Jacks because they're too heavy. So we came up with this. So these are 15¼ inch stroke. So what they did was they made some, there you go. There you go. So there's the safety stand, right? So they come with these jam nuts, right? And they come with a spanner wrench as well. So they made some bracketry, bolted up where the K-member bolts up, and then bolted through the frame rail. I asked them to make it bolt on in the front because I didn't want to have to repaint anything. So there they are. Takes about 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds to lift the car from the ground to the 15 inches of stroke. So what I'll end up doing, looking at it now, the car is up higher in the front than it is the rear, and that's because of where I put where we mounted the jacks at. They're a little bit lower in the front because they can be a little bit more hidden. They're right next to the K-member. In the back, they're at the same height as the torque box, so it sits a little bit higher in the back, which in turn means you have less lift in the back. So what I'm going to do is have somebody machine me some aluminum that slips over top of this like that. That takes up all the space except for about 1/4 inch. So we get a full 15 inches of lift. So this is the part that I figured it would be educational. So I'm doing this with onboard CO2. So this is a 5-pound CO2 tank from Flow Supply. David Vassar started a company. David Vassar is Nitrous Outlet. Started a company and started coming out with some pretty cool stuff that is rather useful for the turbo guys. So it's a 5-pound tank from him, his valve, and then it's adapted to a 6AN hose. So this car has air launchers that run at 200 PSI, right? The chutes run at 200 PSI. And then the, let's see, car's a mess, but the chute release handle is 100 PSI. The shifter is 100 PSI. And the boost control solenoids, which are over there, I don't know, wherever they are, they're at 100 PSI. So the way this works is, these are regulators, and I've used these regulators in the past in other videos. This company is called Priest Performance. This is a 100 PSI regulator that feeds the shifter, chute release, and boost control. That one feeds the chutes. Then it hits that, which is an automatic shutoff valve. So on the other side of the automatic shutoff valve is the 400 PSI regulator. And then this is what feeds the air jacks right there. This is capped right now because I ran out of Brown & Miller hose. So what the plan is to plumb that on over to here into the gas door, which Performance Fab made me this too. So this comes with the air jacks. This is they're like lance receptacle. So you, let's just go find it. Yeah, there's like a whole, I ran out of CO2 also, so I can't even let the car down right now. That's all right. Comes with this, a lance. So the way this works is this gets hooked up to a nitrogen or a CO2 tank, and you take this bad boy and you shove it in the hole. Then you have an external tank sitting over here and hook up to it and charge the system, lift up the car. So what I did was I've got a air toggle valve here that's plumbed in so that once this is done, and I can plumb over to here, I'll be able to throw this toggle valve to let the car down, right? So to bleed all the system, all the pressure off the system, whether it's being charged from here or from there. The automatic shut-off valve is controlled by that guy right there. So that's about it. Pretty snazzy setup. They weigh 4.9 pounds each. So far, I mean, this car's 3,000 pounds. So far, they did pretty good. Like I said, about 10 to 15 seconds to get the car all the way up in the air. There's more than enough room to lay up underneath of there. Hell, you can pull a transmission out if you wanted to, and that's without blocks underneath of it. They're made by All Star Performance. No, I'm not a dealer. Well, kind of am, I guess. I can kind of get you, I can get you set up with everything you needed. So if you were interested in this, I could sell you everything if you wanted them. And still trying to iron out all the little details on it, but so far so good. We'll plumb it up and be able to use an external tank over there. I have to actually get a full CO2 tank. So it's a little slow to move just because the CO2 tank is at like, what do we got? 500 pounds. So, and my mother bottle here is damn near empty. So, but either way, it lifted it up. So they tell you not to run it over 400 pounds. And right now the regulator was preset to 350. It was very slow to pick the car up. I turned it up to about 400 and everything's good. So I used all Brown & Miller smooth bore hose in 4AN. And then there's a 6AN that's gonna run from there over to there. And yeah, that's about it. So let me know what you think.